Welcome to an episode of Inside the Locker Room with Avery Waddington. How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Pretty
Excited
good.
to be here.
This is your first interview outside of sports?
Yes.
Outside of sports. It's your first year in Montana. How is it treating you?
I love it so much. It's definitely just like so fun being in a college town, and like I see like all my friends playing college sports, and like they're not having as much fun as I am.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So like I feel like being in a college town, and like it definitely had ups and downs, especially with our coaching change and everything. But it was just so fun.
That's good. And you like it here?
Oh, I love it. Yeah, that's why I'm coming back.
Is it everything like you thought of, and have there been any surprises besides like the whole coach situation?
Yeah, I feel like that was the biggest thing like I did not think was happening, and I came here mainly because of him.
Oh, okay.
And just like how he was, I really liked him as a person, but it's just way different when you are a part of the team, and you know, it's like a salesman, like you never know until you show up. But like now everything is just so much better. The coach is great, like the team is just so fun to be around.
That's great.
So it's like I wouldn't change anything, even though it was really hard.
In the moment, but it's better in the long run.
For sure.
You graduated from Lake City High School in Idaho, and you've had really good success, nominated for the McDonald's All-American game. We're in the Inland Empire League MVP, and for your senior year, you had 19 offers. So did that follow you like here? Like, did you have that on your shoulders kind of if you've been successful?
I mean, I feel like college is definitely just so much different. I didn't know really what to expect. I felt like, especially being a freshman and having like 3 senior starters and you only get 5, you know, like basketball is so different, you know, because you only get 5 people that start and play. But I kind of was just like sitting back and just enjoying the moment and just seeing where it kind of takes me, regardless of 19 offer. Like, you know, like I didn't really care about all that. I just was more like, I'm gonna, like, any opportunity I get, I'm just gonna maximize it to my full potential. And so it definitely, like, the start of the season, it was like a little slower. I still got like tons of minutes, but then like it just blew up kind of my freshman year for like I played 40-minute games. Like, you know, like I just played a lot more than I thought I was. But yeah, going into it, I didn't know what to expect.
Yeah, that's good. I feel like if you don't have an expectation, like you will exceed those.
Totally.
So I feel like it will be more successful that way. You were a core player on your high school team, so like you didn't think that was going to transfer here, or did you think that you'd have a little bit more of a role than like the general freshman?
Yeah, I felt like I would have a little bit more of a role just because I felt like throughout high school I was like a leader, you know? And so I didn't think like my personality and the aspects that I've like had my whole life were going to change, but I just didn't know how it would look like from playing until, you know, until I was playing. But like I was expecting just to be a leader in any way I could, even if it was just on the bench or whatever. But yeah, I think it's definitely carrying over. And it took me a little bit of time because I kind of felt like shy because I am a freshman, but
like didn't want to step on anyone's
toes,
I
didn't
kind of thing.
Yeah, for sure. And I just didn't. It's not my place, especially with like seniors and stuff. But then I like found out like it really doesn't matter like what age you are, you know,
especially
like,
on the court.
Yeah. So yeah.
That's so cool. What was the team culture of the Lady Grizz, and was there a place for a freshman to have that role, or was it nerve-wracking to show yourself in the beginning?
I feel like our culture is just so like welcoming and like outgoing. I feel like a lot of like the Grizz community like look up to Lady Grizz, and it's been like a like big tradition and culture in Missoula for a long time. And so like coming in and like being with the team, like our culture is just so like great and amazing. We help out the community and we do all these things, but like I didn't know what to expect in that sense. And like the people like will come up to me and stuff, like even out on the town, like they're like, you're a Lady Grizz player, and it's just like I don't know, just the culture of Lady Grizz. And even with being a freshman, it's just like it's really fun to be a part of.
Stepping into it.
Yeah, for sure.
So I think, does part of that like welcomingness happen because you guys come so early in the summer, so you have that time to bond, or like what is it like? Because for soccer we can't be here until like we can't start until August. So like what do you guys do?
Yeah, I feel like Well, like for me, I went on a lot of visits before, like even I had my official visit, but then I went on a few different unofficials. So even then, like was time for me to kind of like bond with the team
Mhm.
way early, you
Yeah.
know? And so then that kind of made the transition like to coming here so much easier because I already felt like I knew all the
Yeah.
players. And so like definitely being here because we had to be here for me freshman June 10th last year. And so it was really early. Like I knew no one because a lot of sports aren't even
Yeah.
here, like just
Yeah.
football.
Because you guys stay in a different dorm
Yeah,
besides Craig,
yeah,
right? Okay.
yeah. So it was just like me and the team. So I feel like that definitely helps. And then just like I think the coaching does like a really good job also of just like bonding us together with different like dinners and events and stuff like that. And
Mhm.
so I feel like it just everything adds up and builds on it. But yeah, like even my first, I wasn't even on campus yet. I was just pulling up in a Walmart. I was in Walmart and this guy was like, "Are you the girl from Coeur d'Alene who just committed?" I'm like, "Yes." Like they
That's
already know.
crazy.
Yeah, it was like my mom was like, "Oh my gosh, like this is like the most crazy like thing. Like I'm just new here." And so
Yeah.
like even like to that extent with like outside people, like it's just everything's just so welcoming and it builds on the culture.
When you like even when getting recognized, does it like kind of stress you out when you're like in places to like represent yourself in a different
Yeah.
way, or like do you like having that recognition,
Hmm.
or was it do you
Yeah.
wish that you could just be you?
I feel like I usually represent myself in a good way, like wherever I am. And so like it was just kinda it's kind of fun to have that like label and like not
Mm-hmm.
label, but like that I don't know. It's just like cool to be a part of something that you get to like be noticed for,
Yeah.
you know? And so I don't know. It's not a lot of pressure because I feel like it's just more fun than more pressure.
Mm-hmm.
But you always just got to make sure you're doing the right thing because then that will lead to pressure.
That can screw it up.
That could
Yeah.
really screw it up.
Did you have a hard moment or hard time with basketball? Because I feel like
Mhm.
at least for most people, like you come to college and it switches like your thought process on the
Yeah.
sport because it changes more to like a job instead of
Totally.
like
Yeah.
enjoying it and like just going
Yeah.
to practice, 3
Hmm.
days a week or whatever it was. So like did that change it all for you, or did you have to like find that like joy in it again?
I definitely had to find that joy, especially with the coaching and all of that. Like, I felt like I knew it was gonna be a grind because everyone says it is, but like I've like realized like the lows are like insanely low
Mhm.
and the highs are like so high. So like for me, it was important for me to like find the medium and not
Yeah.
be too excited on the
Yeah.
highs and not too sad. Like I just really tried to find the medium. But with like the whole coaching thing, like I felt like I was at the lowest point of my whole life. Like it was horrible. I was miserable. I was thinking about quitting. I was just like crying every day basically and didn't know what was wrong because I was
Yeah.
like, this is just how it is. Like I don't know
Mhm.
any different. And so then like I had like the leaders and like the seniors be like, it's never been like this. Like everything will be fine.
Mhm.
Like it'll get better. All this
Yeah,
stuff.
which I'm
And
sure
so
is so hard because they're
yes,
also like experiencing this for
yeah,
the first time. So it's like, do you even like know what's gonna
yeah,
happen?
literally. So it was just a weird time and I like lost all joy. And then like the coaching change happened and we had the assistant coach be interim or whatever for a little bit and obviously now he's the head coach. But like the switch immediately, like there was just joy again. Like he even like stated in practice how like it's not basketball isn't your life. Like
Yeah.
your family is your number one, your like all this stuff.
Mhm.
Friends is more important, like not to like waste all your joy on just basketball. And
Yeah.
so I felt like when he like said that, it was just like a big weight off my shoulders. And so like everyone, like you could tell in practice, everyone was just much more happy. Like the energy was finally back. Like everyone began to like have joy again. And so yeah, I didn't know like I could lose joy for the sport that I've played my whole life.
Mhm.
And then
Yeah.
I did. And then
It's
I was
really
like, it was
shocking.
really horrible. But
Yeah.
now it's like amazing and good.
So was your old coach like totally different mentality? Was he like eat, sleep, breathe basketball? Like
Yeah, it was like eat, sleep, breathe basketball, and he would just tear girls down and like just not fulfill them. And especially with like the reason I came here was just like to be led in a positive
Mhm.
direction, especially like with spiritual, and he was that. Like he challenged me and all that stuff, but he wasn't like being who he said he was.
Yeah.
And so it was just really hard for a lot of girls. And when you just like stand there and you see things that should not happen and you don't know what to do, it just was like, it just got to a breaking point
Mhm.
basically. And so,
Yeah,
yeah.
because even like I heard from the soccer team like things about like your
Oh, yeah.
coach, and we were just like, wow, like I couldn't even like
No,
imagine that.
yeah.
Like that's not even practice
It's so
anymore.
weird too, like thinking back on it, like how us girls, like, we waited so long to like speak up about it, you
Mhm.
know? And it's like if we would have known that wasn't normal, like we just thought this was just like
Yeah.
aggressive, like just basketball coaching, hard, we're at a high level.
Yeah.
But like once you like sit back and you're like, wow, that actually wasn't okay, and we look back on different instances, it was just crazy.
Yeah. College sports can be a mental toll
Hmm.
already, and so like being a freshman with significant role in the team, did that ever affect you? So like again, kind of with the pressure of the fans and
Hmm.
like kind of pressure from other teammates of being like this is a new leader even though she's a freshman, but
Yeah.
you kind of have to show that.
Yeah. It was weird because I felt like in high school I got so nervous before games. I cared about what others thought.
Mhm.
I cared who was watching. Like I was so like focused on that type of stuff. And then basketball hit like for college, and like all of that like stress and pressure like is just gone. It's the weirdest thing.
That's crazy.
Like for I don't really even get nervous for games
Hmm.
anymore. I'm just more like excited, and I kind of just like I think I finally kind of matured maybe,
Mhm.
because now I'm like I'll just do my best, and if it's not the like like
Yeah.
it's just it is what it is. Like I know how good I am. I know how good I can be. And so it's like I think that's kind of like maybe maturity. I don't know. It just all
Mhm.
changed when I came to college. But like the pressure like definitely like I feel it, but I don't like I know the pressure, but I don't feel
Mhm.
it. That's what I'm
Yeah.
trying to say. Like so I feel like the pressure doesn't really affect me. I'll just do my best whenever I can. But especially in like the last like the Big Sky tournament when we made it to the championship game, like I definitely felt more pressure in that moment, just because of how far we made it, and I also wanted the head coach to get the job, and so
Yeah.
it's important that we do good and everything. But yeah, I felt like this year I haven't felt much pressure. I'm kind of curious to see if like the years go on, I'll
Mhm.
get more pressured.
Yeah.
But
That's crazy because you would think it's like you would get more nervous
yeah,
and
totally.
because you're just in a
I don't
whole
know if
new
maybe
place.
it's because I'm a freshman, so like I have a lot more grace, like a
Yeah.
lot of. But that also made me like piss me off. Like in practice, if I messed up, the coaches will be like, "She's a freshman, she's learning,"
Yeah.
and I'm just like, "No,
Like
it's
I need to
like
yeah,
yeah,
I'm better than this.
yeah."
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know if it's like what way that is. Like I don't have pressure because I have so much grace, or I don't have pressure. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. But
But
I'm sure that that helped a lot though. Like it,
hmm,
like it doesn't
yeah,
bring so much attention to when you do make a mistake. It's like
totally.
they happen
They do
and
happen,
we can't
so
dwell on them.
yeah, especially like we're here. Everyone, all the athletes are here for a reason. Like we're all good. So
Mhm.
it's like if you have one bad game,
Yeah. It's not
not
the
the
end
end of
of
the
your
world.
career. Yeah.
Yes.
So take me through that last game of the
Hmm.
season. Cat Grizz, like the craziest final that you could ever think about.
Really?
And you guys played Cat Grizz before.
Hmm.
So like how did your guys' play change from the final game from
Hmm.
like before?
Yeah. I feel like the first game, Cat Grizz game at home, we lost by one, and like I felt like it feels good to like they're ranked the number one team in
Yeah.
the conference. Like you have that pressure, but you also don't have pressure because you just kind of like let it out, and you're like we're gonna do as best,
Yeah.
like we've nothing to lose. So that was
Mhm.
kind of like our mindset, and so like the first categories game, that's kind of like how we felt, and we played so good, and we ended up losing by one, and
Yeah.
that sucks, but oh well. And then when we went to the Cats, I think we kind of thought we kind of needed some like humble pie because
Yeah.
we kind of like let loose a lot more,
Mhm.
and so we got dominated basically. Like they almost 100-pieced us, and so it was like a horrible game. And so like when it was the championship game, that's just like it was kind of like a surreal moment. We were like, no way, it's the Grizz versus the Cats in the
Mhm.
championship. Like we both made it to the top, and especially because we're like underdogs,
Yeah.
like we didn't have the greatest season, but it was just such a like surreal experience. And so like I feel like we were proud of how far we like already came
Yeah.
regardless of the ending of the game. But we ended up having a really, really good game.
Yeah.
And we were up right at that last final seconds, and then they got a buzzer beater. So we lost like one again. But regardless of that, I think we were still like just so proud of ourselves and like how we rallied as a team together,
Mhm.
and we weren't supposed to make it to the top, but we did. And like we should be like we shouldn't everyone's like, oh, you made it, but like we should make it, like
Yeah.
we are good enough. We just had a rough patch. And so I don't know, the Grizz Cat game was just it's just crazy because we lost to them by one both like two
Yeah.
times. And so it's just like that sucks, but in the end I'm proud of like how we ended and everything.
I feel like even with every like kind of Big Sky tournament, like the underdogs kind of make it the farthest because they
Totally.
don't have like all that pressure
Uh-huh.
and like
Totally.
you should be here, but like you're just kind of enjoying the game more
Yeah.
and like you're enjoying every single win and like that makes a big difference of like,
Uh-huh.
oh, we won and we're supposed to win versus like we won, like let's go out and play the next
Yeah.
one. So like I feel like that helps a lot. Like what happened like after the game, because I feel like a big controversial thing was like Danny and like
Mm-hmm.
how was that in the locker room? Like what'd your
Yeah.
coach say? Like
It was like so like I told myself like I was like I'm not gonna cry. I'm not
mhm.
gonna cry. And then I just like looked at Danny and I looked at MJ and I looked at Tyler, and they're all like seniors. And so it just like makes you feel like sad because like only one of them wants to play overseas. Like they're done now. Like
Yeah.
two of them are just like done. And that's fine. Like that's the stage of life. Like it's just sad like something that they love and they've worked so hard for is
Yeah.
over. And it's like me, like I get to come back next year, like it's not over, but it's just sad because like they're moving on to like big girl things, like
Yeah.
like they're being like actual adults. And so I don't know. It was just sad because like they're all crying, and like I feel like that's like what triggered me to cry. I was like, oh,
mhm.
like that's so horrible. Especially Danny too. Like being here all 4 years
Yeah.
from Montana, like she just has like it means so much more to her, and she wanted to win so bad, and it just ended in like literally the worst way,
Yeah. Yeah.
So it was sad, but I feel like even when the coaches came in, they were kind of like speechless. Like it's just like we were at such a high in the
Yeah.
game and the whole tournament. Honestly, we were at such a
Mhm.
high, and for it to just go like that so quickly,
Yeah, it
it's
can
just
just
like
turn
there's really
off.
nothing you can say. It was pretty silent in the locker room and just hugging and tears. But yeah.
Yeah. Have you like cuz I you've had your senior year like of high school.
Uh
So
huh.
like was it kind of the same of like going home
Yeah.
and it's like different and you're kind of just together for the last time or
Yeah.
like
It's totally like that. I mean, obviously, like high school for me when I was a senior, I was like, I have more to play, and
mhm.
like high school is nothing compared to college,
Yeah.
But like it's still that same feeling that you're like just done, and that stage of life is done, and so like that's why even for Tyler I felt sad. Like even though
Mhm.
she's gonna play overseas, it's just different. Like
Yeah.
it's completely
It's
different.
so different because I feel like playing overseas like that is your job. Like
That's your
that
job.
changes
This
so
is your
much.
job, kind of.
Yeah.
But like you get to have fun and
mhm.
you have more time a little bit, but it goes by so
So
fast. It
fast.
literally goes by so. Everyone told me it goes by fast,
Mhm.
and I didn't believe it. And
Yeah.
especially when the grind is horrible, and you're
Mhm.
like, the low is low. You're
Yeah.
like, I don't know if I can do this for 4 years, but it's already 1 year done, and I'm like, I literally just showed up here. Like I
Mhm.
literally just said bye to my parents, and
Yeah.
and now I have my own place, and
Legit,
like
literally.
it's
Yeah.
so fast.
I feel like the coach thing is kind of what everyone was like
Mhm.
wondering about.
Mhm.
So how did that happen? Like what led to that? How did your team deal with
Mhm.
that? Like what like literally just what happened?
Yeah. Um, there's like tons of like outside rumors and stuff, so it's
Mhm.
like kind of like I don't know, it's up and down, but with like who says what and stuff. But basically just the coach was treated women way differently than the boys coaches.
Mhm. That's
And
crazy being in a woman's sport.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah, I feel like now the coach, like he has 4 daughters, he's so good with girls, like
Mhm.
he just knows us like how we
Yeah.
are. And I feel like our other coach just didn't really know much, and he just doesn't realize like we are like young adults and you can't talk to girls like that. And so like that alone is like an issue.
Mhm.
And then there was speculation or whatever that he pushed our assistant coach, which he did, but I don't know in what sense. There's so many different
Yeah.
stories. And so all I know is he pushed her, and so that's obviously even a bigger like
Mhm.
issue. And so it just like caused so much like confusion with us girls, and because all we heard was he pushed her whatever.
So you guys didn't see it. This was just kind of what
Mm-mm.
you were told. Okay.
Yes. And then because he wasn't showing up at practice for like a couple days. And so
Oh,
then we're
okay.
like, okay, something's going
Yeah.
on. And then we heard that he pushed her. And so then we're like, obviously team girl, like, that's not okay.
Yeah.
And so we're like all against him.
Mhm.
And then we had practice one day and we'd film because we had to play Weber State at home tomorrow.
Yeah.
And we were like sitting on the chairs waiting to watch film, and he walks in and we're like, no. We're like, no. But the girl wasn't there. So it was like
Okay.
he was there, but Coach Emma wasn't there, and so we're like, that's not okay. Like
Yeah.
she shouldn't have to not be here
Yeah.
because you. And so then Danny spoke up. It was like dead silent. People were crying, and he was just like, what's going on? And acting like everything was fine.
Wow.
It was like the most crazy thing I've ever witnessed. I was like, and then Danny was like, you're not gonna tell us what happened? And he just got like he kind of just like froze and didn't know what to say. And so then it got really awkward, and he couldn't say much because of all the things that were going around. And so he just had to call Kent, and then he left, and then we never saw him again.
Wow.
It was crazy. But yeah, he
That's
came ready to
crazy.
practice and everything, and we were like, no. No, we're not practicing for you. And
Wow.
so it was like the quickest turnaround. Then Nate, our coach now, he was like, well, we have a game tomorrow. Can you guys like rally together for like an hour to do our
Mhm.
scout, go through practice a little bit, whatever. And we were all like, yeah, like, let's do
Yeah.
it. And so, like, from that moment on, like, the game the next day, we were so, like, you could just tell everyone from the outside perspective, too, could just tell, like, we were played so much more free
Mhm.
and, like, excited. Like, it was just crazy the whole situation is just crazy.
That's insane.
But,
Like I had no idea cuz I heard about like the pushing and
yeah,
that he was really aggressive, but like we had no idea how it truly like went down
yeah,
to
no,
just that flip of this like
uh,
snap of the fingers and
yeah.
it was just
No, he,
like
like,
done.
came to practice, then from that, we never saw him again.
So, what do you have in mind for next season? You lose a bunch of seniors, so is the team going to bounce back from that change? Do you think?
Yeah, we already got a few recruits that committed, like
Mhm.
transfers. And so that will be definitely good. I feel like we're in need of like one post. But also our coach is kind of wanting to play like how we played in the championship or like the whole Big Sky tourney, which is kind
Mhm.
of like five out, spread out, like tall. I mean, me and Danny together
Yeah.
played, so it's like we're tall, but we're not like posts.
Mhm.
And so he wants like that faster, like taller group and not so much like a big post in the middle of the paint. But also, we don't have like one like that anymore. And so it's like, I feel like we need that. But I feel like other than that, like we should be solid. We're already like really excited for next season with how it ended.
Mhm.
We did lose three starters, which is really hard.
Yeah.
But with like we have Mac coming back, which is point guard, and then like we have shooters and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And I think some of the, I guess not younger, they're kind of now going to be upperclassmen, but I feel like they'll have more of a role this year than they did last year. And then I don't know, everyone's telling me like there's a sophomore slump, and I'm like, I hope not. But like also like with me, I feel like I think we can be pretty solid still. Um if we find like we just got to get those like pieces here because
Mhm.
they're committed and they're transferred, but they don't come till June. So
Yeah. I feel like the sophomore slump, I feel like it definitely can happen if you're just like not strong
yeah,
mentally and like let things
totally.
affect you, but I feel like
I feel like
you've
I've never been that way, even in high school. Like I was a JV my
Mhm.
freshman year, and I just slowly worked up, like, so I feel like that I've never, and I get so hard on myself if I'm not doing good. So
Yeah.
it's like
You're not just
I
gonna
hope there's not,
play that way.
yeah.
Yeah, you're not gonna let that happen. Do you have any goals for yourself next season, and like what should people look out for and
hmm
expect and watch out for?
I would say like my goals next season, like my goal this season was to get freshman of the year, and that didn't happen. There was another great freshman at Eastern, but I'd love to get like something along with the Big Sky. Like not,
Mhm.
I'm not. I think I'm too young to be like MVP of the Big
Yeah.
Sky, but like something like I want to be not nominated for that or whatever. And then I averaged double digit points this year, like, but it was like 10 flat, and so like I'm hoping just to like get like average a double double, so I get rebounds too.
Mhm.
Because I was pretty high up there, but not like 10. So I feel like my goal next year is just get a double double average, and then get nominated for it. But really, just I mean, my personal goals, like, yeah, I have them, but I'm more like team rules. Like, I just want to win. So if I'm not producing, like,
Yeah.
obviously I want to produce, but I just want to win. So
Yeah. And I feel like you have like pretty level-headed goals.
yeah,
Like you kind of are basing them off of like what happened last year in your success. So you're
yeah.
not
I
just
just wanted
gonna
to
like
be
a little
better.
bit better. Yeah,
Yes.
a little bit
Yeah.
better and make little
Yeah.
improvements. Yeah, that's
Totally.
really cool. Well, that's all the questions I have for you.
Perfect. That was
Thanks,
fun.
Avery.
Of course.
Bye.
Bye.